I'll be honest, this message is really not, it's very counterintuitive to the spirit of the age. And particularly, the organizational constructs that I'm associated with are church-related or ministry-related. And there is much in ministry that really works against it because we are missional, right? We are trying to do something. We're trying to reach people for Christ. And also, frankly, we have mixed motives in what we're doing because we're not just trying to reach people for Christ. We're trying to be successful, which means we're trying to be bigger than the church down the block or the Christian organization that does the same thing that we do, but we think we do it better. So that there is much even in the nature of what we're trying to do that conspires against this. That's why I keep saying that you don't start with methodology. You have to start with a sense of identity. Now, how that then would work into our systems, I think the question is an excellent question. It's probably too big to answer in a soundbite. But I think it would have to begin with a re-examination of motive. Why this is what we're doing. Why are we doing what we're doing? And then anchoring it into the reality of the gospel and of grace, and then begin to look at how we're going to make decisions about the way that we work as a result. And Timothy, I actually think you could probably answer this question better because I know that you are thinking about that as you're trying to embed in this organization an ethos of rest. Do you have any thoughts about how systemically, practically, how you could handle that?
We've thought a lot about that, and it is quite a challenge. We talked about that last night. We've talked a lot about that at Meadowkirk. You can get into this irony of promoting the ethos, speaking to the ethos of rest, the theme of rest, and not resting a whole lot because you're working a whole lot. And so I can't say that we've fully cracked that code. And so for us, it's a continual focus on what it means to be a community at rest, whether or not we have guests here or not. In many cases, we've actually turned to some of the spiritual disciplines to think about how we can incorporate those, but no, it seems like quite a process.
I think in church life, which is where I see this being a real problem, on the two things I feel very strongly about. One is the church needs to stop worrying about numerical growth. The American church is obsessed with numerical growth and has forgotten that God is the one who grows the church. It's not that it's bad for the church to grow numerically. We have come to believe that it all depends on us. That's not the picture you get when you read the New Testament. It says the Lord added to the church. Secondly, I would argue that the church needs to take itself off the market. Because what happens is when the church becomes a sort of spiritual capitalism, providing goods and services, God inevitably recedes to the margins in that model. And it is not a model that is grounded in relationship. So once I start to set aside the burden and begin to concentrate on being, so what is the church called to be? Everything the church does grows out of what it is. Everything the church does grows out of what it already is, according to Ephesians 2, right? God has already transferred us into this kingdom. He has already given us this place. So I would say in the church context, we need again to begin to re-examine our assumptions about who we are, what we're doing, and how we should be going about it.